What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman Arkham City Wave with the Build-A-Figure Solomon Grundy. So this is a cool set with all figures from Arkham City. So they have their designs from the Arkham City video game, and then we get the Solomon Grundy Build-A-Figure from the game as well. So we can see his picture down here on the bottom and some of his body pieces there. So first off, we have Batman and Catwoman. So of course we have to have Batman with this, and then we get some of his rogues gallery. So we get Catwoman, and then we also have Ghul, which is pretty cool, again with more Solomon Grundy parts, and Penguin, which is also awesome. So this looks like a pretty cool wave overall. Awesome getting the build figure of Solomon Grundy, so I assume he's going to be a large figure, and like I said, getting these additional characters is pretty awesome for Batman. So pretty cool wave overall that I'm excited about. So let me get them open and out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's go and start off with Batman, which of course this is from Batman Arkham City, which was released in 2011 as a sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum. And in this, Arkham Asylum and Blackgate Penitentiary are closed down, and Gotham's most notorious slum is converted into an immense prison system known as Arkham City, which is ran by Dr. Hugo Strange. And in Arkham City, the inmates can do whatever they want as long as they don't try to escape. And in the storyline, Bruce Wayne is arrested and released into the city as Dr. Hugo Strange knows that he has the dual identity as Batman, so he releases him, and then Alfred drops like a case into the city, and Batman gets his suit and everything and goes over through the city as Batman. So this is what he looks like. Of course we'll see a comparison, but he looks almost identical to the Batman figure we already have from Arkham Asylum. So even though this takes place after, it makes sense that he has a somewhat similar outfit, but has some upgrades and some differences of the figures that way now. But it looks pretty much just like Batman, just with the Arkham look where he's got the really tall bat ears, but everything else looks the same. So black cowl and cape going down with the nice like swoop to it, has some nice details designs into it there. And then we have the body that again looks much like the older one, bat logo on his chest, the all gray outfit, that's bulletproof, or at least can take hits and stuff. And I like the details, little holes and details and textures all throughout it. Some gauntlets here, so he's got some additional technology and stuff in there. It still has the spikes, some black gloves with some silver on it, yellowish color utility belt with all the different pockets, black underwear, gray legs going down into the all black boots that again very similar to that figure we've already had. So I'll show you that comparison in a second. But we can do this one smooth, so his head can twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far, so not horrible movements. We get the shoulders that come up to 90, have that butterfly joint there, and rotate around. We get a bicep twist, pretty stiff, but bicep twist. The single elbow joint that bends under 90 there, so not that good. And the wrist can twist around, and it's on the ball joint, so it can flex wherever the ball is there, so back and forth. We have the upright crunch, so you can crunch back and forth and twist around. And then we have the crunch at the waist, so we can crunch back and forth more there. Of course, hard to do with his cape and everything, but he can crunch at the waist and twist around there as well. The hips can come up about that far, so maybe 45 out to the side, pretty much can do the splits. No thigh twist or anything, but a double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, which isn't bad. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth. It's got the ball joint in there, so flexes back and forth, twists side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So this figure does seem a little bit older, so they probably just took that older figure and just redesigned it a little bit to make it look like this version. But overall, like I said, it's going to be pretty much exactly the same. And I can bring in that older figure so you can see. So body wise and stuff, like I said, it's going to be exactly the same, so that it's repainted. So this older one is more darker. So again, this is supposed to be from Arkham Asylum. One difference is you can see the face. So Arkham Asylum has more humanoid eyes, so you can see the pupils and everything, where Arkham City has just the all white eyes, and his ears don't seem to be as tall, but of course ours have got bent up. But body wise looks exactly the same. The belt's recolored, so it's now just all this like solid yellowish gold color, where this one they had details to make it look more gold. The gauntlets are a little bit different design, so they have this additional little details on there, probably for his additional features. And the boots, pretty much exact same design, just this one they've made them to look more like silver, where this one they're more black but have a little bit of detail into them. And the capes are different in the back, so this one, new one, has the sweep, where this one's just all flat. And of course in our storage it's gotten flat now, so it's almost impossible to stand this Batman up, because I think it had a curl to it and now it's straightened, so it's almost impossible to stand him up. But just wanted to show you those two versions, and it's much different. But we also have another Batman from one of the Arkham games. I think this is maybe the Arkham Knight version, not exactly sure, but he's much more armored out, looks completely different, just has the tall bat ears there, but pretty much everything else about him looks different. But there's just 3 different versions from 3 different of the Arkham games. But for this Batman's accessories, first he comes with a base plate. I am able to get him to stand up, but he does have a lot of issues with the feet. He does have that older figure design, like I said, probably just took that first one and redesigned it. So with his feet and stuff, I'm having a lot of issues getting him to stand. So there, I got him on the stand. And for accessories, he comes with with the bat grapple. So a gun we've pretty much seen before. So it's got the grapple hook on it, and so we can put this in his hand. So there's Batman with the grapple gun. So definitely not the best Batman figure, but I still think it's pretty decent, nothing bad. And then we have his card. So there's a picture of him from the game, what he looks like, and then his story on the back. Of course, we know his name is Bruce Wayne, but the story is just all the normal Batman stuff. So nothing particular to this game. So we won't read all that. But yeah, we just got a Batman figure, and like I said, nothing that I'm too interested in. Don't really feel we need it, but to get that Build-A-Figure piece, we had to get it. So I guess it's necessary for that. And next up, we have Catwoman from the game, and I think she looks pretty good, and I think this overall design is really nice. Like, I feel it's got enough of a design to it that you could actually use this as a comic book version, because this is more what she looks like nowadays. Like, I feel the outfit looks a little bit too realistic, but overall, like, the look is how I feel she looks more now. So I feel you could definitely use this as a comic book Selina Kyle, but overall, I think she's pretty good. Like, she's a female, so she's got the thinner body, but she's got pretty good and decent joints all over. She's in the all black leather suit, so pretty typical for Catwoman, and it's got designs onto it, so you can see the textures running throughout again, so it has a lot of design, so it's not just an all black suit. But we got her face there where she's got her shorter haircut, so you can see some of her hair hanging down the black. Goggles that she can usually put down on her face, but they're molded onto the top there, and her helmet design with the cat ears. So I like that look overall. I think it looks very cattish and stuff, so pretty nice there. A high color piece, and then she's got like claws on her fingers, so it's gonna be hard to see, but she has her fingers like claw designs with some points on them, and then the all black going down to the high heel boots. But even with these, she's not too hard to stand up, so I was quite surprised by that, and just the boot designs are pretty cool there. So I'm quite impressed with this figure overall. But let's go do her movements. So her head can twist all the way around, and she look down that far and up that far. So not too bad. You can see she has a little necklace piece in there as well. The shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get the double elbow joint, which is pretty cool. So it can bend all the way up on itself. So that's good. And then the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. She's got the upper ab crunch. So crunch back and forth and twist around. And then she has at the waist as well. Crunch back and forth and twist around there. The hips can come up not too far from 90, out to the side, not far from doing splits. They only go that far. No thigh twist, but a double knee joint that bends up that far, not far from kicking her butt. If you bend her foot back, she can. And then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. And she does have the blend in joint, so it's got the design of the boots and stuff, so the shoelaces and everything there. And then has the toe joint on the end, but it's real small, so it doesn't really do much of anything. And like I said, I'm quite surprised how easy she is to stand. Like, it's not the easiest. Like, you have to kind of get her legs to bend and everything just to get her to stand up. But thankfully, we do get a base that we can pop her on, so it'll make it much easier. And for accessories, she comes with her whips. Of course, Catwoman's classic with the whip. So she's got this nice big whip handle, again, a little too big for the McFarlanes for me, but a nice whip design that just goes to a point at the end. So pretty nice thin whip compared to like the thickness of the handle. We can put this in her other hand. So there's Catwoman with whip, and I think that looks pretty cool. I think this is probably like one of the best Catwoman figures we've probably had, especially for a McFarlane. Probably won't get too much better than this. Of course, we'll need a comic book version, but like I said, you could probably use this as a comic book because it's not too far, and I think it doesn't look that much video game-ish. So I think this is a pretty good Catwoman figure overall. And then we have her card. So there's a picture of her from the game. I like she has the goggles on, so I won't be surprised if they do another figure with the goggles are down. But from Arkham City, of course, real name Selina Kyle. It says an orphan who learned to survive on the mean streets of Gotham City. Selina Kyle turned to thievery to survive. Determined to do it with style, she learned martial arts and trained in gymnastics to perfect her skills. Her criminal activities are tempered by a reluctant altruism, making her an inconstant villain and occasional hero. She maintains a complicated adversarial relationship with Batman that frequently turns flirtatious and occasionally romantic. So fits pretty good there with just the generic Catwoman. But like I said, overall, pretty good figure. I really like this figure overall, so not bad if you're looking for a Catwoman. And next up, we've got Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, as some people call him, but I think he looks good. Not the classic Ra's as I know him, but I still think he looks pretty decent, much like he does in the game. Have some issues with like his neck. It looks like he's got almost no neck, so needs a little bit more extension up in there. But overall, I think he looks cool. It has the hair design, so he's got the all black hair, but with the white sides being formed, and the mutton chops going down into the beard design with the red eyes around him. So that looks pretty cool overall. I like that design. And he's got the green like outfit. So he's got some like armor design, but he's got this green outfit with almost like a wolf head or some sort of animal design in there, and then the all green details with some straps and stuff going up around there. So pretty nice there. Some bare arms with some tattoos, so he's got these dragon tattoos, so that's pretty cool. Some like gauntlet pieces or bracelets there on his arms going into gloves. Again, a wolf head there right at his belt design, and green pants with some nice textures going into it there all the way down his legs to the knee. High black boots that have nice details on them as well. So like I said, not my perfect version of Ra's al Ghul, but I do like this design. Like I said, I just wish his neck was a little bit taller. But let's do do his movement. So his head twists around, look down that far and up that far. So not much movements in there. Shoulders up to 90, have like that butterfly in there, and rotate around. We had a bicep twist, double elbow that bends all the way up, which is a good wrist twist around, flexed on the ball joint a little, yeah, back and forth. I'm sure there's ab crunches and twists and everything, but it can crunch back and forth. Of course, this big solid like chest piece, so don't really get too much, but it can just crunch back and forth a little and twist all the way around, probably at the waist. Hips can come up close to 90, out to the side. He can do the splits. No thigh twist, but a double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. And of course, his knee joints are real weird with this big like flat piece for like the kneecap design there, so that's kind of weird. And then the foot can flex back and forth again with the blend in joints, so you can see the shoelace design there. So rocks back and forth, can twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end of the foot. So not a bad figure and pretty typical for your current McFarlane figures. And for accessories, of course, he comes with the base plate. We'll put him on for steadiness, but I don't really have any issues getting him to stand. And he comes with his sword, so pretty typical of him using a sword. Pretty awesome design in there with the handle, looks pretty cool, and then has some even like some inscriptions there on the sword as well. So let's put this in his hand. So there we got Roz with his sword ready to take on Batman, so that's pretty cool. And we have his card, so there's a picture of him from the game, and on the back, of course, says unknown real name, but Ra's al Ghul is what he goes by. It says little is known about the early years of the nearly immortal Ra's al Ghul, leader of the League of Assassins, whose name means demon's head. He has lived for many centuries due to the Lazarus Pit's mystical and alchemical brews that restore his youth. A brilliant master of strategy and organization, Ra's goal is to save Earth from eventual ecological devastation by destroying most of its population. He recognizes Batman as both a worthy foe and possible ally, except that Batman cannot accept Raz's dystopic worldview. So there's a pretty good summation of Ra's al Ghul there. And like I said, not a horrible figure. I just wish it had more neck to show there, because that's the only issue I really have with this figure. But overall, I like the design. You know, fits perfect for the game and stuff. Like I said, not my exact representation of Ra's al Ghul, so I'll definitely still need a comic version, but not bad at all. And our final main figure of the wave is the Penguin, so Oswald Cobblepot here, and he's pretty cool. You know, looks very penguin-ish. Like, I like how he's got the top hat on, of course, pretty typical for Penguin. Although, just seeing his picture from the card, I'll show you, I wish his hat had more design just from the all-black top hat design, but then he's got his fat little face there, and of course, he's got the monocle there on his eye. Of course, I don't know what this design's supposed to be here. It looks almost like his eye is missing, and it's a replacement eye, but it looks pretty crazy there. Mouth all open, of course, his big pointy nose, so it looks very penguinish there. And he's also got a thing on his neck, so you can see he's got like the fat rolls on his neck, but he's got like a little thing down there. I'm trying to decide if it's just like an implant sort of piece there on his neck. I don't remember it from the game. It's been many years since I've played it, but it's got a little design there on his neck as well. And then he's got the like fur coat on over top, so he got the nice fur around his neck, and then the textures, which is really weird, different textures here. I don't ever seen this before on any of the McFarlane figures, so pretty weird, but nice, awesome design. And then he's got a shirt on underneath as well with some textures like a vest piece and another shirt underneath there. Of course, his hands, this one's all gloved, looks like it's just all wrapped up though. And he's got the black pants going into the dress like shoes and stuff, so pretty nice design there overall for Penguin. It looks a little dirty and like grimy, so not like a good Penguin to me. This is definitely like probably my least favorite figure of this wave. Just think he looks a little bit too gross, like probably fits, you know, for being imprisoned, but I definitely like this the least. But we can do his movement, so his head can twist side to side there, but I don't think you could get it to go all the way around just because of the color piece, but you can look down that far and up that far, so not bad in the joints there. Shoulders up 90 and doesn't really feel like there's any butterfly joint, but can rotate around. We've got a bicep twist that's pretty stiff, but it does twist there. The double elbow joint that gets pretty close to bending all the way up on itself, and then the wrist twist around, and of course flex on the ball joint there back and forth. Don't really know what he's got going on up in here, but I'm sure he can crunch at the waist and twist around there. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Not sure if there's anything else, but the hips can come up very little, so maybe there we can kind of force it up to 45, out to the side a little as well. No thigh twist or anything, but the single knee joint that bends back, and it can bend back pretty close to 90 and has rotation in it as well. So you get some movements, but he's got the thicker legs, so it kind of makes sense. And then the foot can flex back and forth, just very little, and very little twisting side to side as well, just because the pants leg come down with the toe joint on the end. So definitely the worst figure of this wave in terms of movements, and then like I said, the look overall, I'm not too happy with this look, so definitely my least favorite figure out of this wave. But accessory wise, comes with the plate, of course, but since he's so short and squat, don't really have any issues standing. And then we also get one of his umbrellas, so we got his Penguin head umbrella there, so nice just umbrella design, you know, with the umbrella all folded up and stuff. Of course, still looks pretty thick, as I complained about McFarlane's, but nice pointed, so he can probably shoot or whatever out of that. So let's just put this in his hand. So there's Penguin with his umbrella. So overall, like I said, not a horrible, like you can definitely tell it's Penguin. I just don't like that look. And then we have his card. So again, how he looks from the game. You can see more of his like coat design stuff, what it's supposed to be. And yeah, you can sort of see the thing there on his neck as well. So yeah, I don't know what that is exactly. But on the back, of course, real name Oswald Cobblepot says the Penguin is an eccentric criminal mastermind known for shady business dealings. Born into the wealthy Cobblepot family, Oswald was sent overseas for school as a boy. When his family hit hard times, Cobblepot immersed himself in a criminal education on the streets of London. Years later, he reemerged as the Penguin, a black market arms dealer in Gotham City, facilitating the illegal financial activities that fund much of the city's underworld. So, of course, perfect for Penguin there and all his criminal dealings. But overall, like I said, looks like Penguin, just not a good looking figure overall. So definitely need a much better comic Penguin and stuff coming up. And that brings us to our Build-A-Figure of Solomon Grundy from the Arkham game. So I thought this figure was going to be pretty big overall, like, you know, standard pretty big figure as comes with the Build-A-Figures, but he's not that as big as I thought he'd be. He just seems like your standard like Hulk action figure, but he still looks pretty cool. So he's a zombified guy, you know, guy that died, a criminal and stuff, and got zombified, and he's much like bigger and all sorts of crazy stuff. So he's kind of like a Frankenstein. So he's got a Frankenstein look. So he's got like his chest all cut open and stuff, and you have this big like round design around him. Same with his arms, of course, you'd have it around his neck and head and everything else. So it's like he's been torn apart, you know, and sewn back together, much like a Frankenstein. But he wore like a suit, so he's got this suit design on. So he's got the jacket and the pants still. Of course, Hulk like all torn up and stuff. He's got some chains around his hands, so he's probably in prison somewhere, all chained up. Rope holding his pants up, and just an overall weird like face design, especially since he's got crazy eyes, his teeth shown there, and his little white hair that he has all spiked up and crazy. But overall, it's a pretty nice design. I do really like this design a lot. Just like I said, I thought he would be much bigger. But we can do his movement, so his head can twist around. I don't think it can go all the way around, especially with like the color of the suit, so you can just twist a little side to side, but you can look down that far and up that far. So not the best movements. It's just on a dumbbell joint there, so you don't really get a lot. But the shoulders can come up. They're a little bit stiff and have some issues, but they can come up to 90, and like this shoulder just keeps popping out on us for some reason. So we can't really do a whole lot with that, but it can rotate around within there as well. We get the single elbow joint that can bend to 90 and has the rotation in it. The wrist can twist around and flex. It's really hard to flex. It mostly goes up like that, but you can't really get too far down because of all the chains and stuff around his hand. So it's hard to get a lot of the flexing in there, but it does move. We have the ab crunch and twist at the waist, so you crunch back and forth and twist around there. The hips can come up maybe 45 there and out to the side a little. Some thigh twist up there, which is nice. But we get the single knee joint that can bend back to about 90 there, if that. And there's a little bit of rotation, but it's really hard to do. Then we have the foot that flexes back and forth, and he's got the blend-in joints there, so it looks pretty nice. You know, it looks like it just fits in perfectly with the leg, but it's just this whole segment around in here. So it allows some pretty good movements and some twisting side to side with the toe joint on the end with the actual toes there. So it's definitely not the best figure ever. He's got a lot of stiffness and issues, and like it showed, the arm keeps popping out, so that's just the functioning of the joint. And it took us forever to get the legs on. They keep having issues where we'd get them on thinking they were on, but we barely touch them and they just fall right back off. But I believe now we have them on because I'm able to do movements and stuff without them falling off. So I think we got that there. But like I said, I thought he'd be much taller, so I can bring in the Batman, and you can see just how tall he is. So, you know, he's not that much bigger than Batman. So I was quite surprised. Like I said, I thought he'd be much bigger overall. Well, there's our entire wave of the DC Multiverse Batman Arkham City wave with that Build-A-Figure of Solomon Grundy, where we got Batman, Penguin, Ra's al Ghul, and Catwoman in this wave. Not all bad figures. Like, definitely don't like most of them. I think they could be better. Like the Batman have some issues with him standing and stuff. Penguin, I don't like that look. Ra's al Ghul, I like the look, just wish his neck was a little bit different. Thought Solomon Grundy was going to be overall bigger, but the Catwoman is probably the winner figure of this wave because I think she's perfect. And like I said, could definitely be used as a comic version if you want. So not a horrible wave, just I feel there could be improvements with these figures. But let me know what you thought of them down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.